Hi everyone, good day and welcome to this video tutorial involving solving investment problem. By the way, I am Jenny B. Gamutan, a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Financial Management student from Section 1B. Today, I am gonna share to you what I have learned, but only selected topics from prelim, midterm, and finals. Without further ado, let's start. These are the topics I want to share to you. The simple interest, the simple annuities, ordinary annuity, the perpetuities, and simple perpetuity. Before we go through solving, let's define first the simple interest. Simple interest is an interest that only the original principal bears interest for the entire term of loan, and it is defined as the product of principal, rate, and time. It is an easy method of calculating the interest charges based on the principal amount of a deposit or a loan. So, this is the formula in solving simple interest. I is equals to P or T, where I is the simple interest in pesos, P is the principal in pesos, and usually is the amount that was initially borrowed from the bank or invested. R is the rate or percent of the principal which is to be paid per unit of time. The rate of interest can be 3%, 4%, or 10%, or etc. T is the units of time usually expressed in years or fractional parts of a year. So for example, Anshin opens a savings account with a deposit of 500 pesos. She will earn 3.5% interest per year. How much interest will she earn over a period of 10 years? So our given is P is equals to 500 pesos since it is deposit. R is 3.5% or in decimal 0.035. In converting fraction to decimal, divide 3.5% to 100 in order to get 0.035. And T is 10 years. So what are we going to solve is the simple interest or I, since the problem asks how much interest will she earn. After identifying the given, let's substitute the given value to our formula. So our formula is I is equals to P or T. Then substitute the value of P, which is 500 pesos, R is 0.035, and T is 10. Then multiply, and the final answer is 175 pesos. Let's move forward to simple annuities. The simple annuities is an annuity whose interest conversion period is equal or the same as the payment interval, or M is equals to PI. There are three classifications of simple annuities, which is ordinary annuity, an annuity in which the periodic payments is made at the end of each payment interval. So example of this is boarding house rent payment if the boarder is paying at the end of the month. The next one is an annuity due. It is an annuity in which the periodic payments is made at the beginning of each payment interval. So example of this is Netflix, cell phone payment, and other apps that needs to pay at the beginning in order to use the apps. The last one is the deferred annuity. It is an annuity in which the periodic payment is not made at the beginning nor at the end of each payment interval, but at some later date. So deferred annuity example is the retirement fund. Among the three classification of simple annuity, we will focus on ordinary annuity. In solving ordinary annuity problem, we will use this formula. S is equals to RS angle N at I if we're going to solve the amount, and the table of values we will use is a table 5. And A is equals to RA angle N at I if we're going to solve the present value, and the table of values we will use is the table 6. Where S is sum of amount of an annuity, A is the present value of an annuity, RS is periodic payment of the sum, RA is periodic payment of the present value, T is the term of an annuity, R is rate of an annuity, and M is number of conversion periods per year. For example, if the compounding period is monthly, the value of M is 12 since there is 12 months in 1 year. And if it is compounded quarterly, the value of M is 4 since you're paying every 3 months, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. But if it is compounded semi-annually, the value of M is 2 since you're paying every 6 months, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. And lastly, if it is compounded annually, the value of M is 1 since you're paying every year, and 12 divided by 12 is equals to 1. And N is the number of conversion periods for the whole term, and it is computed as T times M, and I is the interest per conversion periods, and it is computed as R divided by M. So let's try this example. Anashane deposits 700 pesos at the end of each quarter in her savings account. Find the amount if the account earns 4% compounded quarterly in 8 years. Just like what we did in simple interest, let's determine first the given in the problem. So our given are R is equal to 700 pesos since it is a deposits, and R is equal to 4% or 0.04, and T is 8 years, and M is 4 since it is compounded quarterly. I is 1 since R is 4%, M is 4, then 4 divided by 4 is 1, and N is 32 since our time is 8 years and our conversion period M is 4, so 8 times 4 is equal to 32. And S angle 32 at 1 is 37.494068. This value is found in the table of values that our instructor provide for us to easily solve the problem since we will just look at the table of values. So these are the table of values. And since the problem asks find the amount, what are we going to solve is the amount of an ordinary annuity. The formula we will use is S is equals to RS angle N at I. Then substitute the value of R, which is 700 pesos, N is 32, and I is 1. So substitute the value of S angle 32 at 1 is 37.494068. Then multiply, and the final answer is 26,245.85 pesos. And our last topic is the perpetuity. It is a series of periodic payments that are intended to run indefinitely. Since we do not know the end of perpetuity, its amount, or S, cannot be determined. Sometimes, perpetuity is called capitalized cost because it is the total of the original cost and the present value of all the future earnings, and it's being used to determine or compare whether one asset is more or less advantageous or economical than another asset. Its one type of perpetuity is simple perpetuities. Its payment period or periodic interval is the same as the conversion or compounding period. And the formula we will use is A is equals to R divided by I, where A is present value of a perpetuity, R is a periodic payment, and I is periodic rate, or R divided by M. So let's try this example. What is capitalized cost of 360 pesos payable at the end of each month if the interest rate is 6% compounded monthly? So our given is R is 360 pesos, R is 6%, M is 12 since it is compounded monthly, and I is 1/2 or 0.005. So the formula we will use is A is equal to R divided by I. Then substitute the value of R and I, which is 360 pesos and 0.005. Then divide, and the final answer is 72,000 pesos. And that's all, and thank you.